We're also shutting down illegal online marketplaces and preventing drugs that come from China and other countries from bypassing our borders, and we're getting very tough on it. It's not that we have a choice. We don't have a choice. We can be nice, and we can be soft and weak, and you're not going to have a country left. So we have to strengthen up our laws so that we can do what we have to do. We have to stop this from happening. Drug traffickers kill so many thousands of our citizens every year, and that's why my Department of Justice will be seeking so many much tougher penalties than we've ever had, and we will be focusing on the penalty that I talked about previously for the big pushers, the ones that are really killing so many people, and that penalty is going to be the death penalty. If you look at other countries, I've gotten to know the leaders of many countries, and I won't mention names, but you know the countries I'm talking about. I go around, how's your drug problem? We don't have much of a drug problem. What do you mean you don't have a drug problem? Well, we don't have. I say, how come? We have zero tolerance for drug dealers. I said, what does that mean? That means we have the death penalty for drug dealers. We don't have a drug problem. Take a look at some of these countries where they don't play games. They don't have a drug problem. We have court cases that last 10 years, and then they get out at the end. We got to be tough. We have to be smart. We have to change the laws, and we're working on that right now. The Department of Justice is working very, very hard on that. But the ultimate penalty has to be the death penalty. Now, maybe our country's not ready for that. It's possible. It's possible that our country's not ready for that. And I can understand it, maybe. Although, personally, I can't understand that. But there are people that are good people, that are strong, smart people, and they would differ with most of us. But I think unless you do that, unless you have really, really powerful penalties led by the death penalty for the really bad pushers and abusers, we are going to get nowhere. And I'm telling you, we are going to get somewhere. Companies must also be held accountable. The Department of Justice recently created a task force to coordinate investigations and lawsuits against manufacturers and other bad actors that harm our citizens. And I can tell you that Jeff Sessions, who's here with us now, feels so strongly about this. And they're working very hard and very effectively on that. And so we appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I can think of nothing more important. The third part of our initiative is to get life-saving help to those who need it. We're going to make sure our first responders have access to life-saving, overdose-reversing drugs, which, by the way, are amazing. Here with us today is Mike Kelly, the president of Adapt Pharma. Adapt Pharma makes an overdose-reversing drug for opioids, which I've watched and seen work. It's called Narcan. It's actually incredible. Today we applaud Adapt Pharma's decision to provide free Narcan to all high schools, colleges, and universities in America. I'd like you to come up, Mike. Come up. Where's Mike? Come up, Mike. That's really an amazing and generous offer. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about that, Mike, please.
Sure. So Adapt is a small company that has a big job, which is to reverse overdoses. And we've provided free of charge 4 boxes to all colleges and universities in the United States, 2 boxes free for every high school in the United States, as well as educational awareness for the nursing departments as well as the faculty to train and teach everybody about the dangers of opioids and the risks and also the benefits of having Narcan nasal spray near where opioids are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. It's amazing, generous. And I've watched the police and the fire. They come around and they become so good at it, but I've seen people that are just about dead wake up. Now, the problem is they then go back in many cases to the drugs and they do it again and again and again. But we have to work on that. We have to work on that very, very strongly. I also want to recommend and commend a Richmond-based company, Kaleo, for donating more than 300,000 doses of their overdose reversing drug to first responders, which has already saved more than 5,000 lives in a very short period of time. My administration has made clear that medical providers can share crucial information with family members about an overdose so that their loved ones can help them get into treatment. We need treatment. We're making medically assisted treatment more available and affordable, and we continue to increase competition and drive down drug prices. And we're driving them down. We're going to have a major news conference, probably at the White House in about a month, because all of you people, and I'm talking about prescription drugs, not necessarily the drugs that we're talking about here, but we pay as a country so much more for drugs because of the drug lobbies and other reasons, and the complexity of distribution, which is basically another term for saying, how do we get more money? And if you compare our drug prices to other countries in the world, in some cases, it's many times higher for the exact same pill or whatever it is, in the exact same package, made in the exact same plant. And we're going to change that, and I would like to ask Secretary Azar just to come up and mention opioid, but also talk about how we're getting your drug prices down, and we've already saved billions of dollars for our country, and it's reflected in much lower drug prices. Watch what's going to happen over a short period of time. This man is one of the great professionals, ran an incredibly successful drug company. Who knows better than the guy running the drug company, Eli Lilly? And that's your company, right, or was? Now you're on the other side, though. So nobody knows better. The most respected man in that industry, and we got him to work because he loves our country. Would you tell them a little bit about what you have planned for drug prices and also opioids in terms of stoppage, please? Secretary.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And, you know, you've done a lot already to tackle this issue of drug pricing. So last year, the FDA approved more generic drugs than it ever has in its history. And that brings prices down for patients, for the system, for everybody. You also changed the rules so our senior citizens pay less out of pocket for their drugs. That's $3.2 billion that they're paying less out of pocket for their drugs when they go to the pharmacy. And then we're going to be rolling out, as you mentioned, in about a month, a whole slate of other proposals around how we decrease the price of drugs and how we bring discounts that the middlemen right now are getting, how those will go to our patients, to individuals. Now, we're attacking this with the same level of action, determination, and resolve that you're bringing to the opioid crisis. And that's where we're focused on prevention and getting that 1/3 fewer illegal opioid prescriptions to our people. The second is stopping the illicit flow of these opioids into our country. And the third is compassionate treatment for people, evidence-based, science-based, compassionate treatment that can help people recover and stay away from relapse. So thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership.
Thank you, Alex. You'll be seeing drug prices falling very substantially in the not-too-distant future, and it's going to be beautiful. And I want to thank also Scott Gottlieb. Scott is working on different things, but one of them is called Right to Try. Do you know what Right to Try is? These are for people that are terminally ill, and there are very, very good-looking combinations of things, or pills, medicines, potential cures, and they're terminal, and they're not going to be living much longer. And we don't have the right to give them these experimental drugs or these early-stage drugs that really show promise for whatever reason. But they say because they don't want to harm somebody, if you can believe it. They don't want to harm. So the people will oftentimes go to foreign lands, foreign countries. They'll do anything. They want hope. They want hope. Right to try. So we're working with Congressman Greg Walden and numerous other senators and congressmen, and I think we're going to have good luck. The Democrats have been pushing back on it, but I think many of them are also coming along. It's called Right to Try. A patient is terminal. There's good progress made with a certain drug. We're going to make it possible for that patient to get that drug. And maybe it's going to work. It's hope. It's incredible. They've been talking about this for years and years and years. We're going to get it approved. So important. All right. To further expand treatment, I'm also calling on Congress to change the restrictive 1970s-era law that prevents Medicaid from paying for care at certain treatment facilities with more than 16 beds. It's such an important factor. In the meantime, my administration is granting waivers to states so they can help people who need treatment now, Governor. We're also going to help inmates leaving prison get treatment so they can have a second chance to become productive, law-abiding citizens. And what we've really done for the inmates, it's very hard for them to get out of jail and get a job. What we've really done for them, better than anything we can sign, any legislation that we can pass demanding that you hire, we're getting a great economy. It hasn't been this good in many, many years. Some people say it's never been this good. And what's happened is, as you see, unemployment is way down, and people are starting to hire inmates. And the results are incredible. Some of these employers are calling up saying, wow, what great people. We're giving them a second chance. It's very, very important. So the tremendous economy is helping us very much with that program. We want every American, thank you. We want every American to be able to reach their full God-given potential, and we will succeed together as one people, one nation, and one great American family. Because Americans never give in, and we never, ever give up. This group never gives up, right? Never give up. Your boy. The brave families here today remind us that the strength of America is found in the heart of our people. We see America's heart in the parents who won't accept addiction as the fate of their children. And if something horrible has befallen that family, they go around and they want to make sure it never happens to another family. And that's why we thank you so much, and we thank your boy. He did not die in vain. We see it in the sons and daughters who cheer on moms and dads as they recover. We see it in the doctors and nurses who provide constant and loving care. We see it in the heroic law enforcement officers who race into unimaginable danger. We see it in EMTs and firefighters who act so quickly to save so many lives. And we see this American heart in the men and women who fight every day to help rescue their fellow citizens from the grips of addiction. These are the courageous souls who remind us that for America, there is nothing beyond our reach, nothing at all. Nothing. We will defeat this crisis. We will protect our beautiful children, and we will ensure that tomorrow is better, brighter, stronger, and greater than ever before. Because as long as we have trust in our citizens, pride in our country, and faith in our God, we will not fail. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Together we will end the scourge of drug addiction in America once and for all. We will win. We will beat it. We'll be tough. We'll be smart. We'll be kind. We'll be loving. We'll do whatever we have to do. But we're going to win. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The human body works in mysterious ways. Serious second wave, right?
How are you? Now we're going to try to stay here.
All right, guys, that's a wrap.